You are watching another video with the brand new Samsung Galaxy S4 in a full review here from Hungary, where we have the first European show-off and hands-on event of this device, 3 hours long, and we were able to shoot already a few videos but in other languages, and now we have finally here the opportunity to not only have the Samsung Galaxy S4 in our hands, but also the HTC One, the Sony Xperia Z, Samsung Galaxy S3, and of course some yummy cupcakes with an S4, well, Samsung, not another word. And then we have here the Samsung Galaxy S3, Nokia Lumia 920, and of course the Apple iPhone 5 as well, a tiny little gadget phone here to compare to later in our video. First, let's see what new features Samsung has to offer with the brand new Samsung Galaxy S4, and this video will be about 50 minutes long, where we will show you hopefully most of them. For some you have to check out our other videos, for example, that you can use it now with the gloves, not like this, but you have to like a little bit, well, make the surface better usable with the gloves. But otherwise, just check out our video in our channel here on the right or on the bottom. Please subscribe us for more videos about the Samsung Galaxy S4. But now let's go to the full review. So when you go into the menu, we'll see here right away your apps, which we all know probably already: Chrome, Chaton, Gmail, and so on. Group Play is brand new with Android 4.2.2. So you will also be able to use it with your other phones. Group Play is basically actually a feature where you can send music, pictures, and other media, or even contacts to another smartphone with Wi-Fi, and you can create a group, for example. Then it will turn on the mobile AP. And now we have actually another Samsung Galaxy S3 here, S4, not S3. And then you will be able to see that we can just look for mobile hotspot that this device just created, and it already found the Samsung Galaxy S4, as you can see, in Group Play feature. And so I just have to
play games. That's my option.
Okay, I could just play a game or just listen to music, maybe in even 5.1, but let's just play a game, for example this lower one. And then you already see here on the bottom we have here number 1 now right next to the game, so you could just go here inside and you can see here that somebody's playing this game, so you just have to hit that there also, then it will start up the game here of course also, and I can just hit here, for example, multiplayer. I can just write a nickname now here. It's a little bit slow, but it's of course just a pre-production device, so let's go multiplayer. I've never played this game actually before, so just play multiplayer, and you see here already the second player is already there visible, and you can just hit play on the first player, and then I could have somebody here play. I think you just have to get the same colors before the other person does to collect points, and it's actually quite interesting to play with more than one person, of course, right away, so you don't even need a game console anymore, which is of course quite nice. So this is quite an interesting feature, but let's go on maybe to something different. I will demonstrate to you Group Play in another longer video. Let's just see here a little bit more of the Samsung Galaxy S4 features. So you can see we have some new things here with Android 4.2.2, but otherwise of course a few new programs, for example Translator, which is kind of like what Apple is doing, Google is doing right now, where you can just select one language here. For example, you want English, and you want to say something in Korean, and then you could just type, I want to say bridge, it's my favorite word tonight, as it seems, and I could just say, okay, it should tell me what I just wrote, bridge, or I can just tell it to translate, and as you can see you need Wi-Fi for it, so I just have to enable it quickly. I will disable the Wi-Fi hotspot that we just used for Group Play. So let's do it again. Okay, there's still no network. Now we are connected, as you were able to see on the bottom. And now it's connected, here translated, as you can see, to Korean. Seems quite strange to see, but otherwise you can also let it tell it, so the other person doesn't have to read if maybe the person can't read. if you're deep down somewhere in Korea, for example. So otherwise, we have of course more features here. For example, S-Health, which is not that interesting if you don't have the extra hardware for it. Otherwise, Samsung Link. A story album is one of the more interesting features that are brand new. You can see here we have a few albums that I maybe want to delete now, since I want to do a new one. So I just will hit create new album. You can choose your own pictures from the gallery, or what's actually more interesting is you can choose a location. So the device will choose pictures with a GPS tag or geolocation. For example, if you were to Mexico or France or wherever, it will choose all the pictures from that one spot. Then you can choose people, so it will check the faces of different peoples, but you have to of course enable face tag for that, and you can also choose the time, which is quite interesting if you were for 1 week or just 2 days somewhere and you didn't have the geolocation on. This is of course more interesting, even with the S-Planner as an import feature. So what else? Actually, let me just create an album from the gallery, since we didn't have the most features on, with this nice little food we just photographed. And here's some Samsung pictures from the event tonight. I think I hit done. This is just a pre-production device, so maybe it will be a little bit faster with the final device. So we have here an album. I could change the name. I could say I want some kind of theme. I have a collage, scene, scrapbook, grid and puzzle and snapshot. I will just choose this time the grid. And I could also choose the cover image right there. Actually, the food was nice. But you can of course say you want maybe a little bit to the left, to the right. I just want the food, no, nothing else inside. Go. Create album. And then you have already your nice little book here, which you can also order online in print form. Of course, with 4 pictures that wouldn't be that interesting. And you can check it out also right away as a slideshow. You can see here we have 1 picture, 2 pictures on the bottom actually, which are the same, and then we have a 3rd picture, and I could even change the text here to something else, or even of course delete it. I can just hit OK, and you can try to hit the picture here also, and then you can say here, you can say edit. Come on. Oh, and then you could even add a caption to this picture, which is also quite nice. So there would be even more text here on the bottom, and usually you can also change. If you hit the picture, you can change the location, but I think only if there's enough space. With another theme that was possible, and it even tells you that this is the last page right there on the top. So this was the photo album feature, which is of course brand new here. And let's go to the more interesting features which you can enable right here on the top. There's quite a lot, for example, smart scroll with your eyes, or just with tilting the device. Smart stay, which will stop the video if you don't look at it. Actually, let's try that now. Let me go out again to the My Video feature here, player. We have a video here where it sees that I'm looking at the screen since there's a camera on top, and then if I look away, and I will look away now, you will see that the picture is pausing, and then if I look at it again, you see that it's playing again. Quite amazing. If somebody is disturbing you, you can just look away and the video will stop. What you can do, of course, again, is what you were able to do with the Samsung Galaxy S3 also already. You can have this video here in a separate window and just look at the video while chatting, gaming, or whatever, till it's, of course, finished. The most interesting feature nowadays is the camera. As you can see, 30 megapixels, and somebody's eating a muffin here. The nice little Samsung muffin is gone now, so we can add to the muffin maybe the person that ate it by just adding here a picture of the front camera. And as you can see here, now we have a little stamp here showing me in the picture with a nice and creepy look with the blue from here down under. But otherwise, you can choose here a different size, make it quite big actually, and you can also choose different styles here on the bottom. Come on. So right there, you can choose a heart, bubble, split, and so on, which is of course quite nice. And not only with the back camera this is working, but also with the front camera. So you can see here I have now the front camera as a little heart here inside the picture, and otherwise here me in the back. filming here this review, of course. Otherwise, there's of course the standard features of sending pictures, exposure, and so on that you already know, maybe also from the Samsung Galaxy camera. So, of course, when you go into the browser, there is the most new features. As I already said, you can just look at the screen, maybe go to a website like the NewYorkTimes.com and go. I think we have web right now, and then let me enable here the feature that it's on, that I just have to look at the display, and then if I tilt my head a little bit down, the eye has to go green. If I tilt my head down, the device or the screen will scroll. So if I do this, it scrolls. You can't see me nodding right now behind the camera. It looks quite stupid actually, but it's quite handy if you don't have a free hand maybe to go down, and the same thing works for up. And what also works is you're just doing this with your hand to go up, and to do this to go down, or you can just do it with the hand actually, but you should turn the eye off because that's a little bit better. So we just do this. Well, it works most of the times. Right now, of course, is a show demonstration feature, but now you can see it is actually working. And what also works is by just tilting it a little bit this way, you can see that I can also scroll up and down, which is also a nice feature here by Samsung. And you can of course see here that we have quite a few more. And oops, I just turned on Bluetooth, and there were quite a lot of Bluetooth people here. So you can see you can still send pictures via S-Beam and do all kinds of other features that are really quite interesting. So what else do you want to see? You want to see, of course, how the device behaves here with different other smartphones compared. For example, the Samsung Galaxy S3. You can see here the Samsung Galaxy S3 is the same in size, of course, even actually 1 millimeter higher, but in width it's 1 millimeter wider. Otherwise, on the bottom you can see here in terms of thickness, I don't have the back on of this one now, but actually you can see that it's quite the same. And in size also, it's also really here almost the same, especially here on the side. You can actually see that it's a little bit bigger there, but otherwise it's really quite comparable. Otherwise we have of course the HTC One, which is one of the main competitors this year, with a smaller screen, 4.7 inch. Let me turn it on. This is actually the maximum brightness, and we have a picture here that we shot with both devices at the same time, so let me just look for that, and then you will be able to see the color difference also here for the maximum brightness on both devices. There's quite a difference, but let's compare the hardware. As I already showed you, they're about the same in size from the front. If you both put them onto each other, you can see here that in terms of width they are about the same. And from the top, some grease on it, HTC, and from the side. You can see, quite interesting, especially since the HTC doesn't actually have a home button here, so you can only turn it on by hitting the top. That's why I like the Samsung actually more, since you can turn it on also on the bottom. Otherwise we have here the Sony Xperia Z. There you can see here that this of course is also quite beautiful device, but it seems bigger, and it has the same display size, and it is actually bigger because if you put them onto each other, you will right away see, if I put them down like this, that here the corners, and my camera doesn't want to focus, come on. So that if you look at the corner, you can see here that it's not as round and a little bit more edgy, but otherwise in terms of thickness they're also again about the same. From the top also you can see here the difference, that there's not quite the difference, and from this side also again. From the back, that's actually what I forgot with HTC, here again from the back, metal, plastic. And then we have again an interesting device, an Apple iPhone 5. It's of course a lot smaller in thickness. We have here again about the same, like all phones nowadays actually, but from the top again quite a difference in size. And one last phone, of course, the flagship Windows Phone 8 device is the Nokia Lumia 900. In terms of camera quality, this is actually of course better, but otherwise you can see here thickness the Samsung wins, and in size also you can see it here already on the side. The Nokia is also a little bit more edgy, but not as high as the Samsung Galaxy S3, as you can see here. And from the back they are both beautiful white, but of course the Nokia is available in a lot more colors than the Samsung Galaxy S4. So I hope you liked my first review here with the Samsung Galaxy S4. Maybe we will do another one when I get my device and have already a few pictures inside, but otherwise you can imagine about 7 hours of battery life from the Samsung Galaxy S4. It's the same battery you could expect, battery life expectancy that you can expect from the HTC One, as the first test showed us already, and otherwise camera is good. Most software features I would turn off since they're quite annoying with this smart scroll, I would say, but the smart stay with the video is actually maybe a little bit handy. So, till next time, please tune in again. Please subscribe also on the bottom, Endeavor TV. My name is Balázs Gál. Thank you much for watching.